Some people kill, some people steal, some people lie sometimes. Different events in our life can shape those ways. Harboring hate, harboring pain, and everything people do make it so very hard to forgive. And nobody is perfect, and I can see that in the mirror. And every time I think of things I've done inside the past, I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds in there. Free, not worried about a thing, not even worried about me down here. They free, ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. So many things, so many bills I gotta worry about. I go to work every day so they get paid. So many jobs, so many friends, different associates. I always forget they're subjected to change. Nothing stays the same, things always changing like the seasons. As soon as I get my hopes up, issues start falling down. I struggle mentally on different ways. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm telling you, don't gotta worry about social issues. Ooh, don't gotta worry about bills to pay. Don't gotta worry about people falling out with you. I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds in there. Not worried about, not worried about nothing. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. Ain't nowhere that they can't live. Oh, I'm so jealous. Yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous. Ooh.
Peace, love, health, and wealth, vibe, tribe. Like and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. Let me make sure I got audio before we say go.
Subscribe, help your boy.
All right. So, whether you're watching this on a replay or you catching this live, I just want to say thank you for tuning in to, I believe this is the 6th episode of Removing Manifestation Blockages. Um, I got something very, very special planned here today. I'm not going to talk y'all to death. I'm not going to keep y'all here long. We really going to get in and out of here today. This is something that I found much pleasure in doing because I like to find different ways, you know what? Be different ways to bring these concepts home. And before I do that, I just want to make sure that I go shout out the intro song. And it's Jealous by Drew is the song. Jealous by Drew. So y'all click on here, let everybody know that we enjoy the music and that we want more music, all right? Make sure. Wait, they said it's a problem with my file. Whoa, what you mean it's a problem with the file? You want to play it? You want to hear it again? Encore? For sure. We got it. Encore. Let's make sure we show some love on this video too, y'all.
Some people kill, some people steal, some people lie sometimes. Different events in our life can shape those ways. Harboring hate, harboring pain, and everything people do make it so very hard to forgive. And nobody is perfect, and I can see that in the mirror. And every time I think of things I've done inside the past, I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds in there. Free, not worried about a thing, not even worried about me down here. They free, ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. So many things, so many bills I gotta worry about. I go to work every day so they get paid. So many jobs, so many friends, different associates. I always forget they're subjected to change. Nothing stays the same, things always changing like the seasons. As soon as I get my hopes up, issues start falling down. I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds in there. Free, not worried about a thing, not even worried about me down here. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. Don't gotta worry about social issues. Ooh, don't gotta worry about bills to pay. Ooh, don't gotta worry about people falling out with you. I
I
struggle
struggle
mentally
mentally
on
on
different
different
ways
ways I
I
can
can
let
let
go
go.
as I
As
look
I
up
look up
in the
in the
sky to
sky
talk
to
to
talk to
God.
God,
I notice
I
the
notice
birds
the
in
birds in
there.
there. Free, not worried about, not worried about nothing. Worried about me down here. They free. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. Oh, I'm so jealous. Ooh, oh, I'm so jealous. Ooh.
Man. That is a beautiful song, man. That is a beautiful song. Uh, Again, peace, love, health, and well. Bob, drop, like, and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. My name is not really important, but what is the fact that I'm here on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center, where the heart is the center for healing. Understand when you come here on my channel, this is like spa day for the soul, chicken noodle soup for the spirit, mani and petties for the ego. You understand? When you come over here, remember this is a hard hat zone. You understand what I'm saying? And self development is the construction site. So again, I believe the sixth installment of removing manifestation blockages. Um, I am having technical difficulties with uploading um uploading the file that I need. So we're gonna have to do this the old school way, and I'm gonna have to go and we just gonna have to do this directly off the PowerPoint website. All right, so if y'all give me a second, let me open up this PowerPoint website. So again, like I said before, I'm here just trying to, you know, keep these principles fresh in our minds when we're talking about removing manifestation blockages, because all of us got dreams, all of us got goals, all of us got aspirations, all of us have a future, right? And the thing is that there's things undoubtedly that can stand in the way of manifesting our desires, and whether or not it's fault of your own, um whether or not it's fault of your own, we all have manifestation blockages, right? And sometimes those manifestation blockages they lie within us. You understand what I'm saying? They are inside of you, and they lie to you and make you feel like you're not worthy, make you feel like you're not good enough, make you feel like you never can, never will. They make you feel all of those things, right? And so at that point, we like to say that your psyche has turned itself on you, right? Because no matter what's going on in the world, if your mind isn't working in your favor, control of themselves, they directly steal energy from us, right? And 2 episodes ago I talked about that at the power plant. But here tonight I want to have some fun with a presentation. And for some reason I'm just having technical difficulties left and right, left and right. So if y'all don't mind, I'm to play the song one more time while I figure out what the H is going on. And yeah, please excuse me. I apologize, you guys, but I'm having technical difficulties.
Some people kill, some people steal, can't those ways. Harboring these people do make it so very hard to forgive. And nobody is thinking I can see that in the mirror. And every time I think of things I've done inside the past, I struggle mentally on different ways birds and they're free. Not worried about a thing, not even worried about me. Down here they free. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. So many things, so many bills I gotta worry about. I go to work every day, so they get paid. So many jobs, so many friends and associates. Always forget they're subjected to change. Nothing stays the way changing like the seasons. As soon as I get my hopes up, issues start falling down. I struggle mentally on different ways. I can let go as I look up in the sky. Don't gotta worry about people falling out with you. I struggle mentally on way to go as I look up in the sky to talk to God. And the birds and
Can I get some green hearts in the chat, please,
not
y'all?
worried about, not worried about nothing. Worried
Oh.
about me down here. They free. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. Oh, I'm so jealous. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, I'm so jealous. Ooh,
All right.
ooh,
So we're gonna have to do this the old. We're gonna let me make sure it's ready to go before. All right. So all right, boom. Right. 1 second, y'all. We almost here. So we had a couple technical difficulties. Okay, let me get it out of presentation mode. Okay. So let me go ahead, share my screen. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all go ahead and shout out y'all socials. Make sure y'all encourage people to donate to the channel. Can I get a mic check, please? Are we good to go? Can I get a mic check, please? Are we good to go? All right. So we're gonna have to do this the old school way. I tried to upload it to StreamYard. I tried to download it and stuff like that. Let me see what it look like. Does it look okay? All right. So boom. Let me put it on full screen. There we go. All right. All right, here we go, y'all. Damn, I should have got me some water. Give me 1 second, because I'd rather do it now than later. The back signal to the quantum field, rewiring your reality with the inner dark night. Okay. Tonight we are going to take a journey into archetypes, right? And that's going to be a reminder of something that we already learned in class, right? So we're going to take uh a journey into archetypes, coherence, and quantum creation, right? I know that's not really a term that y'all hear often, you know what I'm saying, but quantum creation, all right? Quantum creation. No, don't wait until I start going live. Go, get away from me, dude. I really don't like when you do that. Bye. Don't ring that bell while I'm live, okay? That's a no. All right, here we go. So, what is the quantum field? What is the quantum field? All right, so simply put, the quantum field is a vast, invisible energy matrix of infinite realities. All right. Just so you know, you exist in a quantum field right now. You are a part of the quantum field and it is all around you. There is nothing in existence that is not within a quantum field, even when you're talking about black or antimatter. All right. So I know we're gonna dive into physics a little bit, and it's gonna be a little confusion for some, but y'all gotta bear with me, okay? So one thing that we got to know about manifestation and in particular the quantum field is that all possibilities already exist. So you being a successful, I don't know, stripper, or you being a failed McDonald's owner, all of those possibilities already exist. Okay. What we got to do is learn how to um I hate to say the word tap in, but we got to learn how to utilize this quantum field for our liking, right? And remember, we defined in the last episode, we defined what the will of God was. Okay, so I just want to go ahead and throw that nugget in there. All right, so the quantum field responds to your emotional frequency. All right. And one of the things that you must remember about the quantum field is it's all about alignment and not forcing things. All right. So brain heart coherence. First of all, I got to tell y'all again, the beginnings, especially when we in the first couple episodes of this series, we're going to be heavy on um definitions. Okay, so make sure y'all get your pens and your pads ready because I don't want to just throw in a whole bunch of information at you guys and and we don't get anything. So make sure y'all get save some questions for the end too. I don't care how big, how small, make sure y'all leave a question at the end. All right. So brain heart coherence. Excuse me, what is it? So, brain heart coherence, neural and electromagnetic harmony. All right. Neuro electromagnetic harmony. All right. So, it's two aspects of brain heart coherence. Okay. It's the brain, which is focus and thought, right? And then it's the heart, which is emotion and vibration. Now, when you add two plus two together, you get what? Four on the peace, love, health, and wealth scale, right? No wonder. Look at y'all talking about some right? Like on what they say, the claw. He controls who say and who go. The cloud, it chose you. Farewell, my friend. Am I on that one or am I a little bit off? I know I'm a little bit off. I know I'm a little bit off. I know we got some adults in here who never seen Toy Story, right? Never ever. All right. The cloud. All right. So understand that when we talking about brain heart coherence from this day forward, we are talking about clear energetic broadcasting. Okay. Remember the power plant? Your body is a power plant. Now we're going to take that energy and broadcast it so we can get what we need and want, right? So pay attention closely, y'all. We about to start kicking up in 1 second. All right. Ooh, this is I didn't realize how tiny this was. Hopefully y'all can see this. If not, then I apologize, right? But how manifestation works in a quantum field. Okay. So, again, your electric thoughts and your magnetic emotions equals your signal. All right. So, what do that mean? When we say the word electric, that means for like kind of like forward moving. Remember, electricity is always moving forward. Magnetic is the opposite of it, which draws things in. So when the thoughts go out, right? Then when the thoughts and emotions go out, then we draw back what we want. All right. So just a simple manifestation or just a simple whatever, a prayer is electro and magnetic because naturally you're going to push and pull things directly to you. All right. So the quantum field reflects what you resonate with, not just what you want. So again, one thing that y'all going to hear me talk about a lot is what are you saying when you all alone? What are you saying when you laying down and going to sleep or when you wake up in the morning? Are you optimistic? Do you believe that you can and you will? Or are you stuck in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the us, thems, and theys, the me, myself, and I's? They hate me. They'll never accept me. They'll never love me. They'll never forgive me. I'll never find the one. I'll never have enough money. Whatever it is, right? You can think one thing, you can be positive, right? But what is your resonant frequency? And that's something we're going to talk about later on, right? Because whatever you frequent is your frequency. So emotionally, if you're primarily sad, then that's the frequency you're going to give out. If you're primarily happy, then that's the frequency you're going to give out. If you think that you never can and never will, that's the frequency you're going to give out. Now, if you feel sad and hopeless and you believe that you can and you never will, then you creating a trap for yourself, right? Brain heart coherence. So, Nightbot, can we move on to slide 5, please? Okay. Coherence activates the field. Coherence activates the field. All right. So when we're talking about coherence, we can think about the coherence as a quantum password, right? And when we talking about clarity of the coherence, then we get a response. So when we talking about a coherent response, that is equal to a clear bat signal summons the right reality, right? A clear bat signal summons the right reality. So remember in Batman, only time that they shine the light for Batman is when they was in trouble, right? Well, it wasn't easy to call on Batman because Batman was, how can I say this? He was a vigilante, right? So only people who knew Batman had access to Batman, right? And man, we gonna get into the characters and all of that stuff. And just to let y'all know, there will be a part 2 to this, okay? Because this Batman thing, excuse me, I should have got some water. This Batman thing is very, very deep. All right. So let's talk about who Batman really is. All right. Who is Batman really? So Batman is an archetype energy. And remember, we covered archetypical energies in the past, right? But Batman is the archetype of the conscious creator. All right. So this means kind of like the king of wands, right? Where whatever he thinks comes to fruition, right? Batman is the archetype of a person who transmutes, I'm sorry, pain into power. So if you don't know about Batman, Batman was a young man who lost his parents at a very early age, and he never fully ever recovered. He has always been on a mission to bring justice, right? Batman is an archetypical character who integrates the shadow, right? So that means that his dark side, he uses his dark side, right, as well as his light side to do those justly things, okay? So when Batman is fully coherent, right, when he integrates and transmutes, he acts with precision and purpose. Okay, but only when he's in full coherence do he act with precision and purpose. Remember, sometimes Batman can get carried away, and or you see that with a lot of superheroes, right? Where they get on the borderline of killing a villain or something like that, and then they release them or tie them up and leave them for the police, right? Well, sometimes he can get out of balance because of the mental illness and everything that he suffered from. But that's okay because we're going to learn how to overcome that in a second. So I'm going to open up the chat for a second to see if there's any questions, comments, concerns, to see if everybody doing all right. And then while I'm checking the chat, I will be going to get me some water. Okay, guys. So hang with me 1 second. Well, my cup already had a little sippy sip in there. So we back. All right. So let's go ahead, Nightbot, and move on to the next slide, please. Are we good? Everybody good? Are y'all following? Is the slides keeping up with the show? All right. So I guess everybody good. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all taking notes. All right. So what happens when you send the wrong signal? All right. What happens when you send the wrong signal? What happens when you're depressed? What happens when you're suffering from PTSD? What happened when you let people get under your skin? Right? What happened when you let one bad moment turn into a bad day? Well, that's called incoherence. And incoherence scrambles the quantum field, meaning that your electromagnetic pulses that you send and receive from the quantum field is going to be scrambled. And with that being said, you're not going to be able to really have a equal give and exchange, right? Because remember, the quantum field is like the your intentions is like the instructions for the 3D printer, right? That is the quantum field, right? Or never mind. Anyways, so so when you send a wrong signal, it activates your inner villains, not the hero within you. So when we talking about the inner villains, that's the hate, the shame, the guilt, the sadness, the I can't, the I will never, right? Those are our inner villains. And what happens is those inner villains, well, I think this is theory. I don't think I can speak this as fact right now, but in theory, right, metaphysically speaking, those thoughts becomes the or inner villains become life forms, right? Remember we was talking about the theologists and all of those people who believe that your thoughts become physical matter, and the physical matter is what you call a spirit, and that spirit inhabits people in your quantum field. So that's why when you're having a bad day, people have a bad day. That's why when you're having a good day, people have a good day because you're the dominant energy in the room and you don't know it. That's why people always come to you and ask you for help. People always come to you, ask you for advice. People always look to you to make you smile because it's not about them being an energetic vampire, right? We can, our thoughts and feelings can either create heroes or villains in our life. Let's continue. When you send the wrong signal, you attract your dominant, unresolved emotions. This is something that I suffered from, in particular, when I quote unquote became enlightened, because I was suffering from a lot of pain, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of anger. And the things that I thought that I was working on as I was progressing actually manifested, right? And so I don't want to get too deep into that right now because we almost at the end of the show. All right. So the rogue, the inner villains, okay? So the Joker, right? Everybody remember Joker and Batman. All right. The Joker, he brought chaos and drama to Batman's life, right? Two Face represented indecision and mixed results. All right. So these are, remember, these are the inner villains that manifest in our life as decisions, as people that we meet, right? It's not just outside of us, but these are also personality traits that we can carry with us when we are tapped into the wrong electromagnetic frequencies. So the Riddler, right? The oh, whoa, wait, what happened? The Riddler, Joker. So the Riddler gave was caused by overthinking. All right, and excuse me, the overthinking causes delays in manifestation. Catwoman, especially so right here with Catwoman, it's the shadow aspect of Catwoman because the Catwoman represents duality in the story herself, and she represents duality because she's the opposite of Batman, right? So it's a bunch of hidden messages, so to speak, here, right? But the shadow aspect of Catwoman was she was able to manipulate, whether it's through sexual or whatever, right? And that causes relationship sabotage. So the scarecrow, right? This is operating out of fear, all right? And this limits your ability to manifest, okay? So Bane, the big muscle dude, represented being over controlling, and being over controlling in your life will cause you to burn out, right? This is why the serenity prayer is important, because we're not going to be able to affect things that's not within our sphere of influence. Maybe I need to make a show out of sphere of influence, right? Damn, okay. So that's going to be important for us to know in the future. Sphere of influence. All right. So Poison Ivy. So one thing I wanted to mention with Poison Ivy was the fact that she was able to grow vines and tentacles, right? And so her obsession, her attachment to whatever her objective was on her own hero's journey, and we need to cover a hero. Oh, we need to cover hero's journey. But let me write that down. Hero's journey. Oh, we went out of order. I was supposed to do the hero's journey first before Batman, but it's okay because we could always come back for Batman. I mean, we can always do part two for Batman later. All right. So again, poison ivy represents the attachment or lust that we have for things in life. And what that overzealous lust does is actually create resistance. So it actually repels the things that we want, right? That's like the obsessive boyfriend who's always calling and texting, but actually he's pushing her away instead of letting her heal. All right. So thank you, Nightbot. We are on slide 9. Okay, you guys, we almost out of here. All right. So how can you transmute your shadow into power just like Batman did, right? Well, remember the Joker represented what? Chaos, and it brought drama. So if you take chaos and transmute it, um you oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. How do you transmute? I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. How do you transmute one into the other? So the K to transmute the energy that the Joker bring, you gotta remain calm. One one outstanding way to remain calm is tapping into breath work, consciously breathing. All right. So when you want to get rid of the two-face archetypical energy, right? You want to operate with integrity. Okay. So if you don't know integrity mean, a quick way to understand integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is looking. So whenever you err on the side of your own morals, ethics, and values, then you can never go wrong because you are operating with what is called brain heart coherence. Not only do you know this is the right decision, but you also feel like this is the right decision because you know, right? We got two different people in this world. We got the people that says I feel like this is the right decision because I know, and we got the people that says I know this is the right decision because I feel like this is the right decision. And we can't always take those two right? That's left brain versus right brain. We can't always take those two into every situation. Sometimes it's one or the other, and we got to be able to use our wisdom to know. All right. So, how do we get rid of the archetype energy of the Riddler? All right. We got to use our intuition. How do we tap into our intuition? By being silent, right? By practicing moderation, right? Let's not be too quick to respond. All right, Catwoman, manipulation. How do we get over that? Again, by operating in truth. All right, accepting things for what they really are. All right, and how do you do that? By doing inner child work. Scarecrow, right? How do we get rid of fear? Right? Well, we got to have courage in the face of adversity, right? I say this all the time. KP is not tough. KP is not this. KP is not that, but at when it all said and done, I don't close my eyes and just swing haphazardly, right? I choose to err on the side of courage instead of fear. Okay, how do you gain courage? By grounding techniques. Simple, right? Bane, how do you get rid of over control, overzealous control? Well, you do that by surrendering, right? You got to understand that you can't control everything all the time. Some things you can, some things you can't. If you have a problem with any of these, multiple of these, find somebody that you believe can help you, right? Sometimes these things is bigger than us, right? And we feel like we can master these things or overcome these things, but it's really not that easy. Okay, I don't know if I make it seem easy or sound easy, but I'm being led to say that somebody is going who's watching this, whether live on the replay, needs to hit me up for a consultation. All right, so we got to find surrender. All right, uh so do nervous system work when you want to do surrender. All right, when you want to find serenity in your life, focus on nervous system work. Okay, so all of these terms, inner child work, breath work, journaling, all of these things are going to be things that you can either Google and find something from, or you can hit me up and we can figure out how to customize any one of these things for you in your particular situation and circumstance. So ivy, poison ivy, right? Well, sovereignty or and cord cutting is how you get rid of the archetypical energy or the shadow energy that ivy represents. Okay, so again, when you're talking about sovereignty, it's I can and I will. It's about the knowing and the belief that you are in control of your destiny, right? And that you can, as a living, breathing being, you can decide what's best for you and what's not. All right. So again, to get rid of this, you just got to simply cord cut, let go of the things that we know we we're putting too much energy into. All right. So let's use Batman for a blueprint for manifestation. So y'all know we wasn't gonna get out of here without giving y'all some gems to take with y'all moving forward. All right. So number one, focus. When you focus, you direct energy. All right. We already know that because we talked about this again on removing and the manifestation blockages episode 4, I believe, the power plant, the human power plant. Emotional mastery. So again, the focus is dealing with the brain because remember it's brain heart coherence, right? Don't forget that. So the focus is about the thought. Okay, what are we focused on? What are we thinking? I tell all of my team members, right? If I'm a life coach, all my team members, I tell everybody, ask yourself two things every single hour, every single day. Am I breathing correctly? What am I doing and why? And when you focus, when you're able to focus, there's nothing that can stand in your way at whatsoever. And one great way is to always do a system check. Am I breathing correctly? Am I what am I doing and why? Right? If we ask ourselves that stuff periodically, we can never go wrong. Never go wrong. All right. So emotional mastery equals the clear signal. All right. I'm not going to say delete your emotions or kill your emotions, because your emotions are the navigational system that points you towards good and bad, right? What I like to tell people to do is don't let temporary emotions make you make permanent decisions. So we got to work in coherence with our emotions. How do we do that? With our intellect. The intellect has to be like the medium or the what is it called? The moderator, in a sense, right? The prefrontal cortex is the moderator of the reticular activation system. It tells the reticular activation system what's important and what's not. So you have to be very clear and intentional about the things that you eat, see, say, smell, hear, et cetera, because you're sending subconscious messages to the quantum realm and you don't know it. All right. So, shadow awareness. This prevents sabotage. So, when we're talking about shadow awareness, right? One way we can tap into shadow awareness is listening to the criticisms of others, right? That's one huge way, right? And look for consistencies in those criticisms. Now, criticisms doesn't have to be bad, right? But it's about how you perceive the criticism. But here at Sacred Self Healing Center, where the heart is the center for healing, we embrace the shadow side, meaning that we embrace the things that we don't know about ourselves, because those shadow things about ourselves represent the subconscious habits that we have. And if we have too many subconscious habits that we're not aware of, then it can turn very bad for you very, very, very fast. All right. Integrity, operating with truth and integrity. What this does is align the soul. All right. And I don't want to get too deep on that in specific, but operating integrity is going to keep you tapped into your higher self. That's as far as I would say with that. I didn't even want to say that, but I'll say that. Last but not least, practicing detachment. Okay. That amplifies attraction. So I don't want you to let go of the things that you don't want, right? I mean, I don't want you to let go of the things that you want, but I want you to let go is the fear. I want you to let go of the things. I want you to let go of the attachments of the things that you don't want and only focus on the things that you do want, right? So I especially tell people, like, when you manifest, and don't focus on what could go wrong, because you're attaching yourself to a negative possibility. There's a million things that can go wrong. We already aware of that, but just like the Fool card and tarot, right? When we practice detachment from what could go wrong, it amplifies and it allows us to see on our hero's journey what we can and will be able to do moving forward. All right. So we almost done. We got 2 slides left. So let's get a 5 minute. Yeah, I said it. Listen, listen. Let's get a five. Listen, my guru said let's meditate 7 minutes a day minimum. Right. Well, KP said let's get a 5 minute daily ritual. Huh? 5 minutes? Do y'all have 5 minutes to dedicate to the rest of y'all life? Let me look in the chat. Is there anybody who has 5 minutes to dedicate to the rest of their life? All right. So nobody's actually here in the chat. That's cool though. That right. People got lives to live, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for those who's watching on the replay, right? Do you have 5 minutes to invest every single day if that meant that you can live the life that you wanted to live? Let's break it down. Let's spend 1 minute breathing, 1 minute feeling the heart, 1 minute in the emotions of the manifestation, and 1 minute visualizing the manifestation. When you put all of these things together, you send out your back signal. All right. So in the morning, what I want you guys to do is to focus your mentality on a thing, focus your mental on the things that you want in the future. Right. What that's going to do is it's going to set the tone, or what's called prime the field, prime the quantum field for the things that you want. At night, before you go to bed, what I want you to do is tap into the subconscious and really, really, really get imaginative about the things that you want. All right. So, again, take 5 minutes in the morning, right? Or whatever. It could be 2 minutes, it can be whatever, right? But in the morning when you wake up, I want you to set the tone for your day. I am this. I will this. I am good. I will have a good day. Everything is good around me. Good, good, good. At night, I want you to dream big. As you lay down and go to sleep, I don't want you guys to accidentally go to sleep. I don't want you guys to do any of that stuff. I want you guys to be purposeful as you lay down to go to sleep. We can't accidentally go to sleep. We can't just scroll on our phones all night, all night, all night until we done scrolling, right? We got to make sure that we are intentional about our thoughts, feelings, etc. as we go to sleep. Okay. So we got a journal prompter 3, right? So let's do some self-reflection. Which villain dominates? What is your signal attracting? And last but not least, what trait must you embody today, right now, as we speak? And so it's okay because I know I blitzed us with a lot of information real fast. So it's okay if we need to go back and watch this 2 or 3 times and really, to really dig deep within ourselves and figure out what we need in our life. But this is why this is recorded. This is why it's free, so you can have access to it. All right. So what y'all want to do, what I would recommend is each one of these journal prompts, try to make a whole paragraph out of it. Try to make 4 sentences, right? Where you answer this fully and honestly, because when you do that, it's going to help you again. I always talk about this, looking at yourself objectively versus subjectively. You understand what I'm saying? So, final words, right? Key thoughts, final words. You are the signal and the night. All right. So, we must become the bat signal. All right. Whatever change we want to see in the world, we must operate in that mindset, in that emotional frequency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have to fully embody it. We can't just pray for things at night or in the morning and then live a life that's opposite of it. Okay. We got to have what's called brain heart coherence. Master the vibration, aka your thoughts and especially your emotions. Make sure you master your emotions. All right. Again, I'm not telling you to delete your emotions or erase them or kill them or anything like that. Just don't allow them to make you make bad decisions. Okay. Integrate your shadow, right? How do you become the night? By integrating the shadow. So we all have flaws, right? Or we all have things that we do well, but maybe we use them for bad, right? Integrating your shadow is going to bring those things which was probably considered weaknesses or whatever in the past, and now you're going to be able to use them for strength. All right. So this is alchemy at its finest. All right. Number 4, aligned emotion and thought. Remember, if you want something, you got to be grateful for it. You got to be thankful for it. You got to be optimistic, right? You can't have feelings of, I'll be always sad. Thoughts and feelings of, I'll always be sad, right? If you want something, you got to remain optimistic that it's going to happen. All right. And last but not least, all of this together is going to call in your highest timeline. So just like I always say, if you want to tap into your higher self or tap into the will of God and all of those different terms, right, historically and culturally used, um you're going to shift timelines, you're going to quantum leap, and it's not magical, it's not mysterious, it's not extraterrestrial, it's not none of these things. When we realize that our people, places, and things directly correlate with our people, places, and things, then we realize that we got to change our people, places, and things if we want new what people, places, and things. Right. So again, when we manifest, and this is an active principle that you got to take. It's not so much as just praying and then letting God do it. Right. Some things is going to be delivered right to your porch. Some things are not. In fact, most things are not, right? You can't want love but never go outside. How you gonna find love, right? Oh, I don't want to do internet dating, but it's creeps online, right? But then you don't want to go outside because it's creeps outside. So if you do finally meet somebody, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna be a creep because you manifested it, right? So I'm gonna open up the chat. I'm making really good time, right? Because I think I scheduled the after party for 9, or was it 9:15? What time did I schedule the after party? So with that being said, man, I think that was it. I didn't want to because of the last episode, we went super deep, right? I wanted to kind of bring some light to this whole manifestation thing because I know it's hard to what you would call like quantum leap and all of this stuff and shift your reality and go into the 5D and heaven on earth, and you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, thoughts and emotions are have to be used in coherence to really create the environment that you want. Right? You can't say that you want one thing, but then you feel like you will never get it, or you feel like it's not the right time, or you feel all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nice lecture. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Now, it will be a multiple choice at the end of this. All right. And the teacher, the person who pass get the highest grade gets I don't know, maybe we throw a pizza party with the class or something, I don't know. But yeah, though, so I'm gonna leave the door open for any questions, comments, or concerns, because I think I only wanted this to go about an hour or so, 55 minutes to an hour, and I think I'm like right on time. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this thing open. If not, then I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna take a minute to decompress, and then I'm gonna come back up for the tarot readings. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna say last call for alcohol. All right, last call for alcohol. Last call for alcohol. What happened to Casanat? I really don't care. I really don't follow Ka. All right. So nice lecture. Be right back. Nightbot. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, if it don't nobody got any questions, comments, concerns, I'm gonna go ahead and shut him down. Um, Let me go to YouTube Studio and see who the participants of this live is currently, because it says it's a couple people here, but we don't know. So it's always raised around something. It's always ways around something. Some people kill, some people steal, some people lie sometimes. Different events in our life shape those ways. Harboring hate, harboring pain, everything people do makes it so very hard to forgive. Nobody is perfect, and I can see that in the mirror. Every time I get my hopes up, it's you start falling down. I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds and they're free. Not worry about a thing, not even worry about me down here. All right, so we about to at that 1 hour mark, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro music, And it's a wrap, man. Hopefully, you guys took notes. I know I kind of blew through these slides, pause kind of fast, right? But it's all good though, because I know y'all going to be able to comprehend. And y'all can always hit me up for your free consultations. All right, let's go.
Very hard to forgive. And nobody is perfect, and I can see that in the mirror. And every time I think of things I've done inside the past, I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds and they're free. Not worried about a thing, not even worried about me. Down here they free. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. So many things, so many bills I gotta worry about. I go to work every day so they get paid. So I have friends, different associates. I always forget they're subjected to change. Nothing stays the same, things always changing like the seasons. As soon as I get my hopes up, issues start falling down. I struggle mentally on different ways I can let go. As I look up in the sky to talk to God, I notice the birds in there free. Not worried about a thing, not even worried about me. Down here they free. Ain't nowhere that they can't fly. I'm always seeing them pass by. I'm jealous. Don't gotta worry about social issues.